Hey everybody, Cobra DVS and Neoflynn for RattleCast back again.
Hey everybody.
After a week, I don't want to say hiatus because that's not really what it was, but it's a bi-weekly type of deal now. So we didn't mess up. Well, we did mess up, but it wasn't because we skipped a week. It was actually a recording. We were supposed to record, well, actually 2 days ago, but then we pushed it a day, and then we kind of both made a mistake and ended up not being able to record yesterday. So we are doing it tonight, which is why it'll be uploaded on a Saturday instead of a Friday. So a big old mess. But we are here and we're gonna get going here. I have to open up last week's episode. I always forget to open up an episode to read the comments every time.
While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and say, go like us on Facebook, make us feel good about ourselves.
There you go. Okay, there it is. All right, I got it. All right, so we'll go ahead and do some comments. And okay, all right, let's see. All right, the first one is by Intellivision Dude. He says, "Would you be surprised if I said that if you go to if you go over to GameFAQs and go to the Symphony of the Night board, there is many topics of people quoting cheesy lines of dialogue from the game. The dialogue has a fan base all its own. The following line is so popular it has an entry in the Urban Dictionary and Know Your Meme sites." And the quote is, "What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets, but enough talk. Have at you."
Yeah, that actually is right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
that's in the demo of all things.
Yeah.
I got to play the demo on the 360.
Yeah, because that's basically the intro to the game is you fight Dracula, and he says that when you first fight him. It's pretty... The dialogue is really cheesy, but it is funny.
It's Symphony of the Night. It's a sequel to Dracula X, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah, and I guess that's the end of Dracula X, is that fight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. LV Peppy 38 says, "Nice episode, guys." Duke Magnum says, okay, he's got two comments. All right. He says, "I like the achievements. The Wii not having them sometimes make me feel like not doing anything extra because a lot of the time the extra stuff is more tedious than fun. But I'll do it for a reward, even though the reward is meaningless. I also don't like the online achievements and obnoxiously tedious achievements. I won't buy a Gears of War game because they want you to get 10,000 kills or some shit. Well, I might try the newest one if I had liked the first, though it was meh bland. Thought it was meh bland." I had that issue, I guess, when I it wasn't when I first got my Wii because I had it before I had my 360. But after you get a 360 and you start unlocking these achievements, it's like, okay, I can unlock a new character in Mario Kart, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel quite like you're getting, everything, a bang for your buck, if you will. Oh, by the way, get the new Gears of War. He says he might try the newest one. It's pretty good. Okay.
3 is good.
Let's see.
Those achievements on Gears are, like, insane, though.
Yeah, some of them are just...
There's a Seriously and, like, a Seriously 2.0, I think.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're insane. You have to do so much stuff.
I think, what is Seriously 2.0? I think it's get 100,000 kills or something.
Oh, it's multiple parts. It's like you have to do certain things in, like, every mode of the game, and it's just, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay, alright, well, I guess we'll just go in order. Mr. B-Lands, a.k.a. James. Do you know if you read his name, it looks like it says Mr. Blands?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we called Borderlands Blands for the longest time because we would abbreviate it like that, and so we just started calling it Blands. So.
Alright, he says, "The real beauty of Symphony of the Night is the first stage is a cool intro. It's the final stage of Dracula X." Well, there we go. "But it's also a test of your skills. The less hits you take, items you use, etc., alters your stats when you start the real game. Now get back to playing it, Nick." Conversation topic for you guys. Since Nick talked about it, I thought that Trials was overrated. Any games that get ton of praise that you just never got into? Whew, there's a list.
Yeah. You've actually mentioned before.
Yeah. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of games that it's like, you hear people talk about them, and it's like, okay, it's not that damn good. Um,
Final
I don't. Yeah. Final Fantasy is a big one. But the thing with Final Fantasy is I can't really say that, I guess, because RPGs aren't really my type.
Yeah.
I guess if I were hardcore into RPGs and everybody's like, oh, Final Fantasy, and then I might have the merit to say, it's not that great. But I guess not really playing not really playing RPGs, it's hard to say. And then you said Call of Duty. I mean, I can actually say that one because I'm a big shooter fan, and that's just, it's like, I don't want to get into it because we've covered it. But on the retro side, yeah, there's quite a few games that I remember when I saw this comment, I wanted to think of a bunch, and I really I did, but I kind of forgot most of them. I know you're not gonna like this because I know you're a big Mega Man fan, but I always thought Mega Man on the NES, those games, I always thought those were a little overrated. I just couldn't get into them really.
It's because they're so hard. Like.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm up for a challenge like Castlevania. That's really hard. Contra's fairly difficult, but but the Mega Man games, it's just like another level. I could just never do it.
Yeah, that's what turns a lot of people off about them, is that they are like ridiculously hard. And like if you don't know the secrets, like you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. I could never figure out without going online or having any sort of manual or anything. It's kind of like, okay, well, I have to beat. I'm just throwing names out here. I have to beat Saw Man before I get to Flame Man because the saw is super effective against the flame or something. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, well,
I mean, you can beat every boss with just your regular gun, but like it's insanely hard to do.
Yeah. I really find it hard to play the first three. I think it's the first three because after I think 4 introduced like the slide kick thing.
Yeah.
3 that did. I wanted the 2.
I think it's 3, but.
And then one of them introduced like the charge shot. I mean, once those are in, it feels a little easier, and I'm more likely to play it, or I feel like I can do better. But yeah, like Mega Man 2, oh man, that's a hard game, and it's odd because it's a series that I really want to like. I really want to like Mega Man, but I just, damn. And I'm kind of a dark horse in that. I do like Mega Man 7. And or not a dark horse, but I don't know the word. I go against what most people say. I do like Mega Man 7 and 8, which I know people don't really care for, but
for me, it's like Metal Gear. I think is one that really jumps out at me.
Oh my god, that game is terrible. Like bottom line, nobody can defend that game for being good. The only thing they can say is that they're nostalgic towards it. Other than that, you cannot say that's a good game.
And even like Metal Gear Solid, like I want to like it, but I don't know. Something about the style, I just don't.
Yeah, that was a PS1 game, I think.
Yeah, the first one was PS1. Yeah, and the
never played
second one was
PS2. Metal Gear's a great example. That game that's just bad. I remember. Okay, this is going back about a year and a half, maybe. I got my copy of Metal Gear. Well, first off, when I originally bought my NES like 7 years ago or so from my cousin, Metal Gear was in there, and I maybe popped it in for a few minutes. Oh, I don't like this. Well, I ended up trading like a bunch of those games in, and that happened to be one of them. So now that I collect, it's like, okay, well, I probably try and get most of the games that I had back. Metal Gear was one of them. I went to a flea market about a year and a half ago. Guy had a table. I think all NES games are like $5. Some were 10 or something like that. Kind of. And Metal Gear was one of the $5 ones. And it's like, this game's not rare or uncommon. It's pretty common, but $5 is pretty fair for it. So I bought it. And when I bought the game, the guy goes, "Oh man, Metal Gear, that's a classic right there." And I had watched AVGN's video of Metal Gear, and it's like, and I kind of looked at my friend who was with me. He's like, "Yeah, okay, this game's pretty bad. We know it." And this guy's, "Oh, it's a classic there."
Yeah, I think because they like the Solid series so much, like they wanted to lump the original in there with it, but and then the sequel on NES is even worse. But
Snake's Revenge.
Yeah.
See, now that's one I've never played that one. Is it like in the same vein as the first one, or?
Kind of, but it plays a little bit different. But it's bad. I think some people don't even count it as a sequel.
The biggest thing I remember from Metal Gear is that the front cover, the guy is Kyle Reese from Terminator.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It's actually here. If I can find it on YouTube here, or not on YouTube, but on Google Images, uh, Terminator. There's got to be like side by side photos. Yeah, here it is. Oh, this is sweet. It's like a photo right taken from the film. It's pretty bizarre. All right, let me get to your page. How do I get to your page?
I could just Skype it to me.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Did you get that? Oh, I kind of sent it at the preview link, so it's weird, but
yeah, it's just.
But yeah, it's nearly like.
Where is it? Like it showed me I got a message, but.
I think
anyway.
if you go to the side, maybe there'll be a little.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It's fine. Oh wow, it totally is.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was actually brought to my attention from the AVGN video, but let's see. Even the friggin' hip gear. Yeah, like the box on his hip.
Yeah, they added gloves. That's about the only difference. Like on Solid Snake, he's wearing gloves on his hand, like fingerless gloves.
Oh yeah.
That's about literally the only difference.
Man, that's crazy. But,
we'll put that link in the description.
Yeah. I gotta remember to do that. I always forget to put those links in.
And it'll be on Facebook. Another reason to go to our Facebook page.
Yeah. Seriously, just go to the Facebook page. If you have Facebook, just like the page.
Just go like the page.
It's not hard.
Make
It's
us feel
a click
better.
away. Anyway, overrated games. Actually, I was just watching a video. Bionic Commando on the NES. I gotta classify that as overrated. I don't know if you've ever played it, but
I've never played the NES one, but
a lot of people say, "Oh man, yeah, that's classic." No, it's not. I had a bunch more. I remember thinking it's like, "Oh man, that's overrated," but I just can't think of any.
we gotta start writing this stuff down. Right?
Yeah, as soon as I read these comments, it's like, "Oh, gotta write these down," because I know I can tell you right now if I just walk over to games and start looking at them, it's like, "Oh, yep, that one."
Yeah, you come up with a bunch.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all. Okay, I'm gonna say one, and I know I'm definitely in the minority here, and I can accept that, but I just really couldn't get into Grand Theft Auto. I like the idea. I think the idea is fine, but Grand Theft Auto 4 in specific, because I wanted to like it. I wanted to get into it, but it's just like, I think this isn't that damn good. I remember a particular mission I had to do where I had to go find this guy and beat him up. The controls for beating him up were god-awful, and I couldn't even do it.
Yeah, the hand-to-hand combat in Grand Theft is pretty bad.
So and I remember in Game Informer gave that game a 10. And it's like, how can you even justify that 10?
Yeah, the game overall is good. But
it is, though. I do like...
I mean, even Halo has some issues. Like, I think that's the most perfect game ever, but even it, has its issues.
I can't deny that.
No game is completely perfect.
Yeah, it's true. All right, well, anyway, I'm glad he asked a question. That's something that needs to catch on, asking questions. So
yes,
good for Mr. Bland's. Okay, all right, Duke Magnum, he comments again. He says, achievement, this is actually just the other day he commented, like a week after his original comment. He says, achievements again. I was checking out the IGN app on the 360, watching the daily feed or whatever they call it, and they said the Wii U will not have achievements. What kind of bullshit is that? Reggie said games can have game-specific achievements, so exactly like the Wii U, like the Wii now. It could have been so cool tying in Club Nintendo accounts and letting you earn coins for 100%ing games, a reason to buy multiplat on Wii U, but no, fuck you, Nintendo. Now, I read it a little different. I don't know if I looked up his specific article, but I read one that said Nintendo is not forcing developers to include achievements. But you can, like Microsoft, when a game is released on the 360, it has to have achievements. That's kind of like...
Right.
But I heard Reggie, the Nintendo of America head guy, he said they're not requiring them to make achievements, but they very well can. But that sort of is kind of like, because that means that they're going to sort of be in-game.
Yeah.
Which isn't a big deal. I mean, but that means that there's not going to be a gamer score or anything like that. It wouldn't be able to work probably.
Yeah, if every game didn't have it.
Which is unfortunate, but he mentions that having achievements would be a reason to buy the a multi-platform game on the Wii U. But I don't think that's Nintendo's aim with the Wii U. Certainly it's not about achievements, but it's definitely about gameplay. And we'll talk about this more later, but they're not focusing on, I don't know. There's a few things that I've seen that's like, I can't believe, I'm I'm bummed out that this isn't happening, or this is happening. Achievements, I guess, being one of them, but it seems like they're focusing on a little bit of some odd things. And it seems like a lot of the little things that you'd like to see just aren't happening, like achievements.
Right, yeah. Which is kind of Nintendo's MO, like, if you look at the Wii, they didn't include online play for the most part,
Right, it was very,
And, that's what gamers are flocking towards right now, so.
Hopefully, and I'm pretty sure they've learned, if they're going to try and recapture the hardcore audience, which is what they've claimed to try and be doing, online gameplay will certainly be improved. You know what? Here's what I want, Nick, and I don't know if this is asking too much. I like the Wii U controller. I think that's going to be awesome. Obviously, if I don't like it, I can use the Pro controller, which is just like a 360 controller we're seeing here. But I just want, like, that. I want the good graphics on the Nintendo system. Even the best graphics would be ideal. And then the chat features and friends feature of the 360. That, to me, would be superb, because I think the 360 does it damn near perfect.
Yeah.
The party chats, the private messaging, the whole thing is just so good. If they could just put that on the Wii U, I would be happy. And it might happen. I don't know. I haven't heard any different, but yeah, so far that's not been the case. I know that they've had like a few, like there was the thing called the Wii Speak, which is like a microphone for online gaming, and I think like 4 games supported it.
Yeah, didn't like Animal Crossing come with it or something?
It may have. I know the Conduit, which is probably one of the best shooters on the Wii, has supports it. So says the front of the box. The DS had a little headset thing too. I don't know what games support that, but they need to really push it and get people to buy this thing. You can't just say, oh, well, here's this voice thing that's coming out 3 years after the system started. And it supports a couple games. You need to have it at launch. People can buy this thing, talk to their friends, and hopefully it happens. And that was a little off topic. But, yeah, that's it for the comments. Again, ask questions like Mr. Bland's. That's his new name. We can't. So we can go ahead and move on to news. And my jaw's a little sore, so why don't you go ahead, Nick?
All right, I'll start. And this is something that kind of caught my eye. It was actually featured on Yahoo's front page, but the one that I linked to was a IGN article. But Rockstar is taking punishing cheaters to a different level, which I think is really cool. Basically, what they do is if you get caught using hacks or whatever in Max Payne 3, you get banished to what's called the pool, which is where all the cheaters go. So basically, if you go online, if you get caught and they verify that you modded or used an exploit or whatever, you get sent here, and when you play online, you can only play against other cheaters. So that doesn't ruin the game for the rest of us, which I think is a really cool idea.
That's a good idea.
They haven't said whether or not you'll be able to get back out if but and they're like, we don't ban players for using legitimate tactics to which some players may object, such as camping, but it's only if you use in-game hacks or whatever. So, and they'll also be updating the title to stop the things that they know are going on, and if you do it, you won't be counted on leaderboards and things like this. So I think that's good, because we all hate cheaters. Nobody wants to play with cheaters. If you want to do that crap, have your own place, which is what they're doing, which I think is cool. Because there's nothing more annoying than running into somebody like that.
Mm-hmm. So these are cheaters, like, is like online? Does this game have...
Yeah, in Max Payne 3 online play.
Okay, alright.
So.
That's interesting. That's something new. I've never heard of that before.
Well, I know in, like, the first Modern Warfare, or was it, no, Modern Warfare 2, like, it was rampant. Like, you know...
Cheating, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know how they would do it, but, like, there was all kinds of crap going on in that. So, obviously, if they can do it in that, like, they can do it in any game, so... Yeah. And, you know, what Rockstar's wanting is people to report people that they see, and then Rockstar will look into it and send them to the pool. Which I think is cool.
That sounds pretty funny. The pool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've got two here. We'll start with this one. This is an article from IGN that's sort of about the hardware and the power of the Wii U. Now, this is something I remember watching videos. It's like, okay, the Wii U, and even hearing like video or people saying and specs being leaked that the Wii U is more powerful than the PS3 and the 360. I've heard that many times. But this article raises a little bit of concern. Basically, what he's saying is that you can see, like at E3, for example, we saw some games from the Wii U, like actual gameplay, and it looks pretty good, but it's nothing that blew me away. But this sort of was nice to hear. Iwata, what's his name? Satoru Iwata, the president of Nintendo, said that the Wii U is still new. It's new hardware, and so the developers haven't they haven't reached their potential with developing games. He compares it to like whereas the 360 and PS3 have been out for a long time, and developers know how to work on it. He says it's about at 50%. Okay, that might be true. I have no reason to think that he's lying or anything. But under that, he says, okay, here's the thing. Here's this quote. It says, if you look at the game Assassin's Creed 3, which was recently announced or shown, you can't see much difference when you compare it with games for other companies' systems. Meaning, like, if you put Xbox 360 and Wii U up against each other, you can't see much difference. And that is a little bothersome for me, because I think you should be able to see, not a defining difference, but a pretty good one. The Wii U should definitely have better graphics than the PS3 and Xbox 360. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. And it might.
Yeah, but I think, like he says, like, they haven't, like, it's at 50% now. So I think what he's saying is that look at it now, and we're only at 50%, and it already looks as good as those. True. So imagine add 50 more percent to that, and look how much better it'll look. So I think that's what he's trying to say, not necessarily that, it's not going to look as good as it is.
Right, okay, well, it should. I'm just hoping it does. And you're probably right. That's probably what he's saying.
And I mean, you see this with systems all the time. Games that come out at launch don't necessarily look as good as games that come out, 2 or 3 years down the line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So it's pretty common with the console that the launch games aren't necessarily relative as to how good it actually is. So I wouldn't be all that worried.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm a little worried, but I'm not. I'm pretty confident, but anyway, he finishes up, and he also says that significant costs are being devoted to the Wii U's gamepad controller, and to devote as much time and money to the Wii U processing power would have resulted in an extremely pricey system. And we'll talk about that later, but that's nice to hear, I guess. It's also a little raising concerns. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be a powerhouse, but I just want it to compete with, it's probably going to look better. You're right. It's probably going to look better than current gen, but it should look just as good as next gen. And I hope it does. I can't say, I can't guarantee anything, but I hope it does. But at least that's a good point, that if they, they're focusing on this controller, and if they just went processing, that would result in pricey. So we'll see later this year. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint. And that's it for that one.
All right, on to my second one, which I guess could kind of be the legal segment, but I don't
Oh
have a
yeah.
full on. I don't have a full on legal segment this time, but basically, THQ, which is in relative trouble
Yeah, I
financially.
heard they were doing bad. Hopefully
Yeah,
that news. Well, never mind. We'll talk about that later.
one of their few bright spots in the past has been the UFC games that they made, the two UFC Undisputed games that they made. And they had the UFC license basically locked up until 2018. UFC and Zuffa, which is who owns UFC, announced earlier, or actually announced in 2010 that they had extended their licensing agreement through 2018. Well, now it appears that THQ, in essentially what amounts to a money grab to try and save themselves, has sold said license to EA Sports. Which is kind of surprising because Dana White was not a fan of EA at all previously. Especially when, because I guess they had, he tried to go to EA first, and they were like, we're not interested in UFC, it's not a real sport. And then, a couple of years down the line, they make their own MMA game. But so apparently he used to not like them, but now he's kind of like all buddy with them now that they've announced this. So, but it makes sense for EA because UFC, while it's kind of faded a little bit, is still pretty popular and way more popular than boxing is right now. So,
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense for EA because they're gonna make money off the game, and it kind of makes sense for THQ because they'll get probably a bigger boost from just selling the license than they would trying to scrape up, try and make the game and put it out.
Did they say how much they sold it for?
I don't think it says.
They usually don't. That's irritating.
Yeah, they don't usually announce it, but yeah, it doesn't say what the amount was. But so basically, THQ is gonna finish making the one that they're working on now, which is essentially for next year, and then after that, EA will take it over. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard THQ was kind of going downhill.
Yeah,
You gotta wonder, were they ever really that big? I can't really name any huge or THQ titles. None are really coming to mind.
Yeah, they're not a huge developer, but they've got a few.
I know they did the Evil Dead games. That's what I'm thinking. That's about it. Oh, they did that Homefront too, which I never played, but I heard was kind of, kind of crappy. But all right. Okay, well, the last one here, another Wii U story. I'm a little excited about the Wii U, so let's hope this is true. Actually, this is good news potentially. It's rumored due to a Best Buy kiosk leak photo that the Wii U could be priced at $300 or $299.99 if you want to be a retailer and price it that way. But if you ask me, this is what the console needs to be priced at. $300 is extremely fair, I think. I think the Wii U launched at $250, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but this is obviously a little more tech savvy with the controller and all that. And it might even be packaged with the Pro controller. I don't know if that was in this article, but I did hear that it would be like the Wii U, the Pro Pad controller, or the touchscreen tablet controller thing, the gamepad. That's what they're calling it, and then it also have the Pro controller, which is like the normal Xbox looking controller.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For this system to be successful, it's got to do a lot of things right and very few things wrong. And I think $300 is certainly like the right price. $350, okay. Once you get it about $400, that's not gonna. Hardcore Nintendo fans like myself, I'd probably still get it at some point. But $400, that's a lot to ask, especially for a Wii system, if that makes sense, because it's not necessarily. Xbox can come out with a new Xbox and charge $400, and I fully expect they probably will. They've done it before. But Nintendo's being kind of they don't really have the hardcore market to charge a $400 price. I don't think. I mean, so I think 300 is where they need to be, and hopefully this is the case. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think they could go too much above that and be successful. Like, I think 350 is probably the ceiling.
Yeah, I'd still be comfortable with that. Yeah. But keep in mind that, take this with a grain of salt. It is just a rumor, but these sort of rumors have been sort of happened, like have been sort of rumored and then turned out to be true. They have a list of quite a few of them, like the Sony's 40 gigabyte PS3 model, Nintendo, the Wii's 199 price drop, the white iPhone, whatever, the PS3 Slim redesign.
Yeah.
So, they got a decent track record, but again, it is just a rumor. But I'm hoping it's a rumor that's true.
We can hope anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's news. That's it.
Short and sweet.
Yeah. Well, how long did we spend on that? We've kind of been talking a while. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we can move on from that to the gaming spotlight, and we're a little late to the party, but that's because we kind of skipped the week. But I figured this week we could talk about E3, this year's E3 conferences, and the whole show, and just give some thoughts on what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't. Surely plenty of what we didn't like, I'm sure. But Nick, why don't you go ahead and start? What'd you think about E3?
I didn't get to watch nearly as much as I wanted to. Like, I caught a few of the things on G4. Like, they were doing like constant coverage. Mm-hmm. So I'd try and flip over there as much as I could, but we were kind of having some family issues, so I didn't get to sit and watch as much as I wanted to. But I think the one major thing that I saw that kind of everybody was talking about was was it Watch Dogs? That new, I think it's called Watch Dogs. Is it Watch Dogs?
Yeah, Watch Dogs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that one. I mean, that looked cool, where you could like jack into other people and like, it's kind of a new take on the free roam game. The Grand Theft Auto style. As far as Microsoft goes, of course, there was Halo 4, and that looked amazing.
Oh, good God. That trailer was insane. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much else you can say.
I saw a few people even like in comments online and stuff. It's like, I don't really like Halo that much, but this looked badass.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're going to, the Forerunner weapons just looked amazing.
Yeah, this game...
Like, a new, it kind of looked like a new style almost. But
yeah, like, it's almost like, for me, whatever doubts I had, forget it. Thrown out the window.
Yeah, well, I didn't really have any doubts to begin with. But,
yeah.
Of course, I'm still excited for Borderlands 2. That goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other thing on the Xbox side is actually the way they're trying to implement Kinect now. I think they're heading in the right direction.
You have a Kinect, right?
I do.
Yeah, okay. I've never actually used one, so I'm not familiar with it too much.
Well, I mean, you know the gist, but they're
right.
They're heading more toward like voice commands, rather like implementing voice stuff into games that you wouldn't normally think it would be there. And like Madden, for instance, was one that they showed.
I saw that with they bring Joe Montana out.
Yeah, they brought Joe Montana out and actually had him. He's sitting there playing, and he's actually, what you can do now basically is to call your audibles and hot routes and stuff. You can just talk, and so you can you can say, and you can call receivers by name. So you could say, Brandon Lloyd, run a streak route, and it'll change it to have him run a streak route. So I think that stuff like that's cool. And they also showed like not Assassin's Creed. Splinter Cell.
Oh, I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah, where he's hanging on a ledge and there's a guy up above him, and he, instead of like hitting a button and having Sam Fisher say "Hey you," he actually says "Hey you" to the Kinect, and that transfers into the game, and then the guy's looking around for where the "Hey you" came from. So I think stuff like that is really cool. Also, Fable, the new Fable game.
I didn't see that one.
I can't remember what it's called, but
is it like Fable Heroes or something?
I think so. But you're going to use, you can actually sit down, which is one of the rare Kinect games where you can sit down to play it, and you'll basically use your hands, to cast the magic spells rather than your controller. So I think they're starting to see where Kinect can be used properly. So those were I think those were the highlights for me. Smart glass, I'm kind of iffy about, but...
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what? I'm not going to use it. It's an okay idea. It almost feels like they're kind of doing it to almost jab at the Wii U a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
But I don't know. I don't know if I see that smart glass taking off. I'm all for using my phone. In fact, I love using my phone for stuff, but anything that's going to drain my battery that's unnecessary, I simply just don't use. And smart glass seems like something like that to me. Plus, it seems like it'd be better incorporated on a tablet than a phone. And I don't own a tablet, so I'm out of luck. But I did see that, and I was like, okay, this isn't quite what I want to see. Let's have a little more Halo 4, and then...
Right.
All right, so, yeah, E3, here's what I saw. I watched, I didn't watch... I watched, like, the latter half of Nintendo's. I watched, I actually watched very little of it, but I caught a lot of the highlights. And I heard a lot of bitching, primarily, was what I heard. But some of the things that I liked... I guess we'll start with Xbox. I mean, you said Halo 4. I mean, wow. It just looked great. Was this at E3? Yeah, the new Gears of War. That was at E3, right?
Yeah,
so we talked about that last week. It's not quite what we thought.
Yeah.
Gears of War Judgment. It's with Baird and Cole.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. It's sort of unexpected. We guessed Marcus because it had handcuffs on, but nope. It's Baird.
Yeah, we were wrong, as was probably most people.
I didn't see it coming.
And it turns out that cover that was leaked isn't the real cover, because actually, shortly after we did that episode, I got that issue of Game Informer, and he's actually pictured on the cover, like it shows Baird.
That's right, yep. All right, I saw a lot of Kinect stuff on the Microsoft thing. I don't have a Kinect, so it wasn't anything I was interested in, but I did like the new Splinter Cell. That game looked pretty cool, and I've actually never played a Splinter Cell, but that game looked pretty cool. I forget what it's called. Blacklist, that's right. And then when you use that Kinect, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's something I'd use it for. Let's see, I saw something about, or I saw like the playing of that new Tomb Raider game. I've never played a Tomb Raider game, and this one's not grabbing me. It looks a little bit like, it looks a little standard to me. I can't compare it to past Tomb Raiders because I've never played them, but it just kind of looks generic a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's her basically origin story is what it is. So it seems like it's going to be a little bit more of a mature like style of game. So we'll see. It vaguely grabs my interest, but we'll see what they do with it.
They're trying to it's like a reboot, isn't it? Isn't that they're kind of...
Well, it's not necessarily a reboot. It's just going back and kind of telling how she basically started.
Oh, okay.
So it's like her origin story. So it's not really a reboot. kind of like a prequel, kind of. But.
Oh, okay. I saw some... then the EA guys came out, and I don't know. It's all this EA Sports crap, and... I did see the Dead Space 3 thing. I've never played Dead Space, but it looked like a pretty fun game. I heard some people saying it's like, Dead Space was a survival horror game, and this new one kind of has co-op. And I heard some people disappointed. It's like, well, what's a survival horror game if there's two of you?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, Resident Evil 5 did it, so,
And people hated that, didn't they? That game?
It's dumb people.
Yeah. I never played it. I played 4. That was about it. And then they closed with a bang, I guess. Did you see the Black Ops 2 trailer?
I actually did not.
You did?
I haven't. No.
Listen. The original trailer that came out, it was like a teaser trailer or something. I was like, you know what? And we even talked about it on the show. It's like, okay, it looks like they're taking it somewhat differently. It looks pretty cool. This trailer basically got rid of all those expectations. I mean, it's basically... it's a little cliche to say this, but it's what you've seen before all over again, except it's in the future. That's like they can try and sugarcoat it all they want. We know what we're gonna get. I'm not getting it, but you know what to expect, and that trailer disappointed me. The gameplay, it's like I've seen this before, simply seen this before. All right, I didn't watch Sony's press conference, but I did catch some of Nintendo, and this is the thing: Nintendo could have easily just blown everybody's minds off, blown the roof off the place, but they didn't.
Yeah, it was very underwhelming.
It was it was, and I hate to say it, but it kind of was disappointing. I mean, it's like okay, they for the Wii U they had. New Super Mario Brothers 2, and it's like, okay, if you're going to show off a new console, I don't know that I'd be showing off a game that could be played on a current generation system.
Right.
It's a side-scrolling platformer. That's not really going to wow anybody. People probably might be excited about it, but it's not going to... I don't know if they have it in the works. Maybe some sort of Zelda game, a 3D Mario game would be nice, but they did that, which would be, I don't know. And then there's also wait, hold on. No, that's called like New Super Mario Brothers U, and then New Super Mario Brothers 2 is going to be on the 3DS, I think is what's going on. I can't be sure though. And then like they basically showed this. Ubisoft has some new games coming out for it, like Zombie U. It's like
that was the one that was getting a lot of talk. Was that Zombie U?
Yeah, it looked. I mean, it looked okay to me. It didn't look like anything that I'd be super hyped about. But it. I mean, I guess we'll see when it comes out. It's to me, it's all or not to me, but in that press conference when the Ubisoft came out. The Zombie U was really focusing on the pro or on the gamepad controller.
The pad, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that is like your toolbox that is completely necessary. And the integration looked pretty cool, like sniping. That looked pretty cool. Like you I don't know if you saw it or not, but did you see it first off?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, for the sniping, this is actually a cool idea. I remember seeing this last year in like a trailer. You hold up the Wii U like in front of your face, and it turns into the scope of your sniper. And like if you move the controller around, like pointing it at different areas of the screen, that's where you're seeing like zoomed in through your scope. So it's like the little screen on the Wii U pad is like your scope. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Then it's like a little backpack. It does a little bit of everything, but yeah, other than that, though, I mean, there was like they have like Just Dance or something, bunch of like nobody cares about stuff, and then they closed with Nintendo Land, which is sort of like they've been saying that Wii Sports is to the Wii as Nintendo Land is to the Wii U, which I guess is okay because Wii Sports was a great tech demo to show you what the system could do. Hopefully, Nintendo Land is the same. They showed a little bit about the 3DS, some upcoming games. The big ones for the 3DS are Paper Mario, New Super Mario Brothers 2, Luigi's Mansion 2, and Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. Those are the ones that seem to be people most excited about because it's mostly first party stuff.
Yeah.
Besides Castlevania. And then it was kind of disappointing, but I don't know. I wish they would have shown some Zelda if they were. Well, I say this, but I don't know if they have a new Zelda game in the works. But I know they have a new Super Smash Brothers game in the works. We could have got a teaser trailer or something.
Yeah.
We didn't get anything. I don't know. It was like they had the whole the everything was within their grasp and they just threw it away. But it didn't deter me because I'm still excited, and they'll be making announcements, I'm sure. And we still don't have a release date. We still don't have a confirmed price. That's all stuff that they could have said, and they just didn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. Stuff I wish I saw. I wish I would have saw a little more Aliens Colonial Marines. That's a game I'm looking forward to. I don't know. I didn't mention this with the Wii U. I don't know if you said you didn't watch it, but they showed some games that are already out, but that are going to be on the Wii U when it releases, or not when it releases, but sometime soon. Assassin's Creed 3, well, that's not out yet, but that's one that's going to be on there. And then the two, Arkham City, It's some sort of edition. There's like a name for it. And then I guess some people were surprised by this one, that Mass Effect 3 is going to be on the Wii U.
That is a little bit surprising.
Yeah. And I've never played Mass Effect, but if it's on the Wii U, hey, the sky's the limit. I might try it. And then I know Colonial Marines is going to be on the Wii U. So, if you look outside of E3, it's obviously coming together. There's going to be some great games. Super Smash Brothers is coming out. There's that rumored Star Fox Metroid hybrid game. You got Aliens. There's going to be a new Zelda. You just know it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new Mario that's 3D, hopefully. You know what I want them to do? I want them to make one of two Mario games. I'm demanding it. They need to make a sequel to Super Mario, and I don't know, some people didn't like this game, but a sequel to Mario Sunshine, or, and this would be preferred, a direct sequel in a game that's very similar to Super Mario 64. And Super Mario 64 is my favorite Mario game, without a doubt, but, oh man, just, because the problem is, in Mario Galaxy, they're great games. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they're not, I don't know, there's just something about them that's not as, I don't know, it doesn't click as well with, Mario 64. It's very, Mario 64 had a lot of exploration, and you had to figure out exactly what to do. Mario Galaxy, it's like you pick this star, and all of a sudden, this whole stage, all you have to do is just keep going further and further, and you finally get to where you have to be. There's very little problem or puzzle solving and very little thinking.
Yeah.
Whereas Mario 64, they could just tell you, let's see, you go into this star and you go into this world and one of the stars is Mario wings into the sky. Well, what the hell does that mean? What do I do? There's that exploration feel. It's kind of missing, but Mario Sunshine had it too. So anyway, I demand one of those two games. And other than that, I'm sure
I'm sure Nintendo's listening, so they'll get ready.
Yeah. Reggie, if you're listening, which Iwata, Shigeru Miyamoto,
whoever,
gang, get together, and give us what we want. And yeah, that's basically all I'm thinking of as far as E3. I think the whole show, wrapping everything up. You said it, underwhelming.
Yeah, I think that's the key word.
Yeah.
There was some highlights, but overall it was kind of like, eh.
Okay, yeah, if they had just said this, made announcements normally, without some sort of big convention, it'd be like, okay. But, it felt like a waste almost.
Yeah.
So, well, it wasn't a home run, but it was at least a lob over the right.
A solid double.
Yeah, double.
We'll call it a solid double.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for E3. Nothing too exciting besides the Halo 4 trailer. No. All right. So we can go ahead and move on to Game of the Week, and it's sort of a two for one this week. It's a game, and then it's relatively unknown sequel. So the game is Solomon's Key, and Solomon's Key is, we were talking earlier about overrated games. This is an underrated game, if you ask me. It's a puzzle game, sort of like an action puzzle game. It's, a 2D side-scrolling game, and your goal is just to get this key and get to the end of the room. Sounds simple, but, you got to avoid monsters, these traps, a whole cluster of things. And your character, which I assume his name is Solomon, I'm not sure, but he can,
your character is actually, what was the name? Nana or something? Something. It's not Solomon.
It's not Solomon. Okay.
No. Now I gotta go look because I don't remember.
I feel like what'd you say, Nana? Is that what you said?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know that I've ever heard it before.
I will tell you in 2 seconds.
All right. But anyway, you play as Nana. Yes. Dana, that's what it is.
Dana, yes. Yeah. See, I was close. I was one letter wrong.
Yeah. But anyway, you play as Dana. We'll just say Dana. You play as Dana. It's just easier to say. Dana, and you basically just have to get this key and get to the end of the level. And there's all this crap in your way, and your character has like this little magic wand, and he has the ability to make blocks. You can use these blocks to, get over platforms, create a platform, and where you can also destroy blocks that are already in the game. But where it really comes in handy, and it really gets frantic, is when you have to, like, there's a monster, let's say, going around a certain little area that you have to get to. So what you have to do is you create these boxes, sort of alter its route, so it goes someplace else, so you can now move on to that different part of the level. It gets pretty hard, and it's a great game, and I really like it, but its shortcomings are probably in the controls, and the biggest thing is that jump, you press up. And
I hate when games do that.
It's just bad. And especially for a game where at some points you have to move pretty quickly to outrun a monster.
Yeah.
It's like, just make it A or B. Okay, here's what you do. You make B jump, you make A place blocks. Control scheme over. That's it. But complaints aside, it really is a great game. It's fairly cheap, pretty common, so it's, get it. It's no reason not to play it. I believe it was an arcade game, actually, at one point also.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, interesting. Now, I'm going to talk about the sequel later. There's actually, there might be 2 sequels. I know there's a Game Boy game called Solomon's Club. I'm not sure quite where that fits in, but there's actually a game on the Game Boy Color. And this was a game I rented from Blockbuster a long time ago, and it's called Monster Rancher Explorer. And I remember playing this game, and it's like, wow, this game kicks ass. I had a ton of fun with it. Come to find out, Monster Rancher Explorer is Solomon's Key with some sprites changed. It's the same game.
That's funny. I never knew that.
And it's like, oh, okay, I was playing this game the whole time. Turns out it's not even its own game. They pulled the Mario 2 on us. It's still made by Tecmo, I guess, but yeah, it's certainly the same. And I remember when I got an emulator on my phone, one of the first games I got was Monster Rancher Explorer. Oh man, yeah, this is sweet. But yeah, it is Solomon's Key with different sprites.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So we mentioned the unknown sequel, and this is really weird. It's like, I kind of wonder what their marketing idea was calling it this. Maybe Solomon's Key wasn't the most popular, and they didn't want to use the name. I don't know. But the sequel on the NES also was called Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is sort of an obscure, rare, uncommon, whatever you want to call it, NES game. It's kind of like a hidden gem. And I just got it not too long ago, and it is, I don't know that I'd say it's better than Solomon's Key, but it's certainly great, and it's definitely different, because you no longer create blocks, like wooden blocks, I guess. You create ice blocks. And the goal of each level was to put out the flames. It sounds pretty easy, but I played through the first world, and by the second to last level in the first world, it's like, okay, how the hell, I get this. And you kind of expect that, but I think there's like 8 worlds or something. They're all different themes. You have to go around and put out the flames. It's not terribly exciting, but yeah, it's like, why would they call it? And I understand why it's called Fire and Ice. Like, that makes sense because it makes the game.
That's what.
But that title. But how would anybody know this is a sequel to Solomon's Key? I mean, you'd have to have read about it in like Nintendo Power or something. There's no way anybody can know. And it's sort of like the same thing. Did you know? And I'm gonna ask you a little question. Did you know Berserk on the 2600, right?
Uh-huh.
Did you know that game had a sequel?
No.
Okay, that nobody does. Well, a few people do. But there's a game on the ColecoVision called Frenzy. It's a sequel to Berserk. Now, if you're gonna do that, have a subtitle. Call it Frenzy,
Yeah.
Berserk
2, yeah.
Fire and Ice, Solomon's Key 2, or the Return of Solomon wouldn't make any sense, but something like that. You can't just completely change the name unless maybe they're trying to separate it from the original, but I don't know why you'd want to do that with Berserk. I mean, that game's pretty damn popular. Frenzy's, like, unheard of. I'd never even heard of it. I think Atari Leaf did a video on it, and I caught it, and it was, there's a sequel. So, yeah. So, anyway, Solomon's Key or Monster Rancher Explorer, whichever one you want to play, give them a shot. They're fun little action puzzle games. Fire and Ice, definitely give that one a go. It's interesting, to say the least. Probably not worth the money that the rarity of it causes it to have, but, it's good. It's pretty good. And yeah, that's all I can say about them.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, they're little quirky puzzle games.
Did you brush up?
I played it for just a minute, just to know what I was talking about. But
yeah, it's I mean, they're not masterpieces. I'm not gonna try and sit here and say that, but they're definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, that's it for Game of the Week, I believe. And we can move on to the last segment. Pushing an hour. We'll do what we're playing. Nick, you can go ahead and start this one.
Not too much new for me. Been playing a lot of Halo Anniversary.
Nice.
James and I finally beat it on Legendary. We beat every level finally. So
cool. Okay.
That was kind of a good accomplishment. And then I've been trying to go through and collect the last few achievements that I haven't gotten yet. So there's some like I think we talked about this last week, but like that's a game that shows you exactly how to do achievements and how to do them right, because you play through the game, a normal difficulty or whatever, you get achievements for beating every level, and then you get the achievement for beating the game on normal. So then you go back through and play on Legendary, and you get, the achievement for beating it on Legendary and Heroic if you do it at the same time. But then there's every level has at least one separate achievement that you have to do something special on that level. So like after you've beaten the game, you can go back into these levels and try these different things that you're supposed to accomplish. Like one of them is like there's the sniper level at the beginning. You have to kill all the enemies without them knowing that, without them alerting to you. So like that's kind of cool. Like it's a challenge. It actually takes talent to do it. And like you storm the beach, you have to storm the beach without any of your Marines dying. So that one took a few tries. The one I'm on right now is like you have to escape the map room without firing a shot from your gun. So basically you can only use melee or grenades. And that is a challenge. And I got so mad because I think I did it, and I think like the achievement didn't pop right away, and so I thought, oh, I must have fired my gun. Turns out it doesn't pop till after the cinematic plays, so I think I actually got it and quit too soon because I thought I didn't get it, so I have to go back and do it again. But I'm kind of mad about that. But and then the other one that I started playing is Shadow Complex, which I downloaded forever ago, and for whatever reason, never even started playing it. So I was scrolling through my arcade games, and I'm like, what's something that I haven't played in a while? And then I saw that, and I'm like, wait, I haven't ever played this. So I started playing that. It's kind of hard to describe. I would almost call it like a pseudo 3D Contra, because it's side scrolling, but you can aim your gun into the background sometimes to shoot something, and you have to aim your gun up and down and behind you. It doesn't play exactly like Contra, but that's kind of the play style. That's the closest thing I can approximate it to. But I'm only maybe 15-20 minutes into the game, but it was really well reviewed when it came out, and I think I picked it up on a deal of the week and just never played it for whatever reason. So I'm starting it now. Hopefully it won't take too long to beat, but that's about it for me as far as new stuff.
Well, I was trying to watch some gameplay, but IGN's making me watch an ad, so just
Shadow Complex.
Yeah,
that's
they gave it a 9.4, and it
was really well reviewed. But
maybe I'll have to try a demo or something on that one. All right, so what I've been playing now, I can finally put to rest. It is over. I have beaten Skyward Sword.
I saw that.
Yes, and oddly, just a couple days after, I beat Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. So So I was on a full-blown Zelda high, you could say. I was addicted to Zelda. And, I had to get my next go at it, so I thought Twilight Princess was the right way to go. So I started playing that. I got it for the Wii. Well, actually, I got them both, but I played the Wii version. Um, and I've only played about, I think I have 3 hours in. And I'm going to stop. And I'm not going to, I'm gonna pick it back up and play it. It's not like I'm quitting the game. It's just, you know what, my Zelda high sort of fizzled out.
It's waned.
Yes, yeah. So I'll just give it a rest, and once I start facing my withdrawals, I'll start playing it back up again. So I'm playing Twilight Princess would be included. Also, I've been playing Super Mario Galaxy 2. A game I've started and quit many times. And I still don't have that many stars. I think I only have about 45 or 50. But that game's irritating. I gotta tell you, it's I don't know. It's good and I like it, but irritating is a good word for it. So that's more modern stuff. On the handheld front, I've been playing some 3DS lately. 2 games in particular. I've been playing pretty moderately hardcore, not really, some Mario Kart 7, because turns out there's a mirror mode, which I didn't know existed in this game, that you can unlock. And I was actually disappointed because I thought it would be included, but it wasn't. But turns out it is. You have to get, I don't know if it's a certain amount of coins you have to get, or you have to, what I ended up doing was beating every track, every cup, on 50cc, 100cc, and 150cc, and getting a perfect rating, which is 3 stars on each one. That was a pain. Now I have mirror mode, and there's 8 more cups. I have to get 3 stars on these. So it's kind of like, oh man. So I took a little break from that. I have been playing very little of it today. And then basically the last game I've been playing is Kid Icarus Uprising. I started playing that again. I think I'm towards the end of it, and excuse me, it's wee hours in the morning here. No, I've been playing that, and I think I'm almost done, and that's a good game. So, that's about it. I played Fire and Ice. I got that. I've been playing that. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I haven't played my Xbox in a very long time. I do have Quake 4. I got Quake 4 not long ago. I want to give Quake a shot because I've heard good things about the series, and I like id Software, so that'll probably be popping in the old Xbox.
I think like is not nearly a strong enough word for you in id Software. I think you love id Software.
I like id Software. Yeah, I do. I mean, most of their games, I have like all of their 360 games besides Enemy Territory, Quake Wars. That's like a real-time strategy game, and I don't play those. But yeah, I have like Wolfenstein, Rage, of course. Now Quake 4, and then when the Doom 3 BFG edition comes out, I'm probably going to have to get that. So yeah, you could say I'm an id Software fan. I've liked them on Facebook, so it's official. No, yeah, but I just grew up playing Doom, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot worse companies you could admire.
Certainly. Yes, I could have. Well, never mind. We'll just stop there. I was going to make like a Treyarch joke or Infinity War joke or something, but we'll leave it at that. But yeah, that's all I've been playing basically. So yeah, nothing really new besides Twilight Princess. Other than that, I've played them all before.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, by the way, Twilight Princess, it's pretty good. It's a little annoying when you turn into the wolf. I don't really like it that much. But, which you do turn into a wolf in like this shadow realm. It's kind of weird, but yeah. So that's me, and that looks like it's the end.
That is it.
Yes. So anyway, do the Facebook, like us on Facebook, of course. Yeah, it's bi-weekly now. Don't forget that. We didn't skip a week. We just accidentally skipped a day, so this is going to be uploaded a day late. But yeah, that's everything. So yeah, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for episode 10. This is episode 9, I'm pretty sure. So we'll do episode 10.
We made it to double
weeks.
Digits.
Double digits. Feels good. Feels good. So, yeah. Without further ado, we will see you guys next week. So, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Take care, everybody.
Hey everybody, Cobra DVS and Neoflynn for RattleCast back again.
everybody.
After a week, I don't want to say hiatus because that's not really what it was, but it's a bi-weekly type of deal now. So we didn't mess up. Well, we did mess up, but it wasn't because we skipped a week. It was actually a recording. We were supposed to record, well, actually 2 days ago, but then we pushed it a day, and then we kind of both made a mistake and ended up not being able to record yesterday. So we are doing it tonight, which is why it'll be uploaded on a Saturday instead of a Friday. So a big old mess. But we are here, and we're gonna get going here. I have to open up last week's episode. I always forget to open up an episode to read the comments every time.
But while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and say, go like us on Facebook, make us feel good about ourselves.
There you go. Okay, there it is. All right, I got it. All right, so we'll go ahead and do some comments. And okay, all right, let's see. All right, the first one is by Intellivision Dude. He says, "Would you be surprised if I said that if you go over to GameFAQs and go to the Symphony of the Night board, there is many topics of people quoting cheesy lines of dialogue from the game. The dialogue has a fan base all its own. The following line is so popular it has an entry in the Urban Dictionary and Know Your Meme sites." And the quote is, "What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets, but enough talk. Have at you."
Yeah, that actually is right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
That's in the demo of all things.
Yeah.
I got to play the demo on the 360.
Yeah, because that's basically the intro to the game is you fight Dracula, and he says that when you first fight him. It's pretty. The dialogue is really cheesy, but it is funny.
It's Symphony of the Night. It's a sequel to Dracula X, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, and I guess that's the end of Dracula X is that fight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. All right. LV Peppy 38 says, "Nice episode, guys." Duke Magnum says, okay, he's got 2 comments. All right. He says, "I like the achievements. The Wii not having them sometimes make me feel like not doing anything extra because a lot of the time the extra stuff is more tedious than fun. But I'll do it for a reward, even though the reward is meaningless. I also don't like the online achievements and obnoxiously tedious achievements. I won't buy a Gears of War game because they want you to get 10,000 kills or some shit. Well, I might try the newest one if I had liked the first, though it was meh bland. Thought it was meh bland." I had that issue, I guess, it wasn't when I first got my Wii, because I had it before I had my 360. But after you get a 360 and you start unlocking these achievements, it's like, okay, I can unlock a new character in Mario Kart, but it doesn't feel quite like you're getting, everything, a bang for your buck, if you will. By the way, get the new Gears of War. He says he might try the newest one. It's pretty good. Okay.
3 is good.